it gave people an outlet, I guess is a better word. Um, it gave them a place to uh, open their imagination and see something different. And I previously did not recognize how important that is for people in the world. I'm ready to go here. So, grand day, grand evening, grand rising, whenever you happen to be existing in the world at this very moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being in this room and giving a listen, for holding space for yourself to explore your inner creator connection. That is the room that you are in today. And while I'm doing my intro, I invite you to get some paper or canvas or whatever you feel like expressing yourself on. Grab your markers, your pastels, your paints, your scraps. And I'll also use the little sewing yarn ball thing on my posts when I promote this room. So if you feel like doing some knitting or some finger knitting, that was a big thing for me as a young person. Finger knitting, love that. Um, so if that's something you want to do, whatever your spirit is feeling called to, go ahead and do that. This is not only a space for conversation about the inner creator, it is an opportunity to express that inner creator. So go ahead and grab your things while I'm talking about myself. Because if you've been here before, if you listened before, you heard this already. My name is Angelique, also known as Angelique the Artist. I'm an expressionist, artist, and spiritual life coach who has a particular passion for supporting young people with creating a life they desire to live. I offer that divine service, our conversation topic for today, through youth workshops like my Time for Teen Self Talk and Setting Boundaries workshop that explores the mind and energy through stories, activities, and discussions, where we also draw and do some visual articulation. I also serve adults through my Inner Creator Connection coaching. That process is a more direct version of this room. As adults, we get so caught up in the external obligations. Ooh, and that was a big part of the juicy conversation I had with Leah on Thursday yesterday. So definitely check out that replay. But we get so caught up in those obligations and our expectations that we begin relying on the external more than we trust our internal. So, inner creator coaching supports people who have the desire to reconnect to and re recognize, really, their personal power so that they can authentically create the next chapters of their life. So, yeah, that's who I am and how I serve the world. And I hope that gave you a little bit of time to get settled with your creative materials so that you can allow your expressive subconscious mind to come out on the page as we hop into our topic today, which is divine service. And before we really jump into that, I ask God, Source, the divine, to allow our heart, mind, spirit to feel held and loved in this space without judgment, judgment free zone, safe space, and to open us to what we're meant to hear and share with one another, whether it's verbally or on the page. Ashe. So, divine service. Let's talk about her. Um, it is a new kind of term that I've recently adopted. I am going through the Abundant Life course, the Abundant Life course with Lisa Nichols, and it is something that she brought up. Um, And just one of the lessons, I believe, but the idea of it stuck so boldly with me that I was like, ooh, divine service, yes, that's what I want to be doing. That's how I feel. That's what is calling me, that term, that phrase. And when I hear the term divine service, I think of how your unique emanation of the divine, of the creator, produces impact in the world. How your unique version of God in this space of source in life um, offers a a gift to the world, offers a talent um, that creates a change for people, that creates an opportunity for individuals um, or for communities. You feel me? Service can be so many different types of things. As an artist, I'm learning that I've had to learn how being an artist and being creative is a service, that it is something that um, inspires people and gives people hope. And the pandemic really brought that to light for me. You feel me? It really helped me to see that um, people in the world need something to hold on to, something to connect to. It's a way that we um, engage with one another. You feel me? Um, and the pandemic and all the lockdown stuff really helped to illuminate that for me, because prior to that I really did see it more as a luxury type thing, where it was like um something that people just kind of uh enjoyed when they could. You feel me? You know, like you have like your Netflix, or you go to a dance show, or you listen to an album, or you go to a gallery. You feel me? Like it's just like something that you can do to kind of entertain yourself. But during that season, I really saw how it gave people a sense of connection. It gave people, um, I guess, distraction is the word, but it gave them something else to focus on outside of the different uh, cycles of the news. You know, news isn't particularly an art, and there is an art to like journalism and presenting. You feel me? But the news is about sharing information, whether that information is true or not, we've been finding. Um, but it gave people an outlet, I guess is a better word. Um, it gave them a place to uh, open their imagination and see something different. And I previously did not recognize how important that is for people in the world. The pajama jam really showed me that being an artist, being a creative, is a divine service. So I bring that question today because I know a lot of people who do beautiful work. I know a lot of people that um, are healers, who hold space, who put on events, that offer financial knowledge, um, that really do service that I believe is divine. You feel me? That I really see as God showing up in the world to help people live better lives. And I just love witnessing that. And I wanted to talk about that today because, again, like I said, as an artist, that was a little tough for me to come to terms with for myself, but I saw it so much in other people and I admired it so much in other people, um, because we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have um, a service. You know, that we all have a way that we can help make the world different. And I won't even say like better or um, whatever the words are that do the comparison things. Um, but we can help share with our gifts, and it can really be a powerful change for people. It can offer them um, something that they really needed. You feel me? Like, I also believe divine service is the service workers, which was a big conversation during the pajama jam. The people who were out in the world still that didn't really get the chance to, lock down because they had to be in the hospitals or be in the grocery stores running people's food around as a DoorDash. Like, that is a divine service. Um, we can get so wrapped up in just the commoditizing of human beings that we don't fully recognize the divinity in what other people are offering to us. You feel me? And I was just watching this PBS show called Human Footprint. And I can't recall the guy's name off the top of my head, but it was this black guy. And, shout outs to that because I love that this black guy's going around um, cataloging and studying and sharing his insights about what human beings have been like on the planet and diving into the anthology, into the history, into the biology, doing just all of this beautiful research. Shout out to the brother, man. You feel me? Um, but he was exploring cotton and how it shifted the world and how um, it just really, this one crop brought on a whole new um, light to the human race. And I say light because it just brought just differentness. It just brought so much change so quickly. And he went back into like, how was the cotton able to, you know, be so abundant in the south of the southern America, the southern region of North America of the United States. There we go. Because I don't want to say like South America or Southern America because that's also a place. But in the southern region of North America of the United States. There we go. The southern region of the United States. And he spoke about how the layers of the earth were compounded over millions of years with first these microscopic beings that kind of like got crushed and compounded and turned into chalk, and then built on top of those layers things started to grow and then die and then grow and then die, and it created this rich fertile soil. And also the temperature um, was the perfect atmosphere for cotton to grow. And he also went into of course the slave trade, of the enslaved African American peoples, the enslaved African peoples. Um, and he talked about how um, the cotton gin was created. That was a divine service. It was something that helped people to produce at a more rapid pace. And instead of saying, like, oh, we'll produce at a more rapid pace and we'll allow the human beings to take a break, which is what machines are for, you feel me? What technology is for. Um, it it fed into the capitalism and into the consumerism. And he also was talking about the what's the word? The demand for the cotton was really like a European um, market where they were making, fabrics and textiles and clothes and whatever, and how that was largely a European market because, if it was in America, like there was a bunch of cotton being grown, it wasn't that big of a deal. But when you can export it and, ship it back and make some money, that's a different situation. You feel me? And he just really dove into all of the different aspects. And there was some conversation about the like 23andMe results, and I wanted to speak on this because that's really has to do with divine service. But the person who acted in this way, who does these services for the 23andMe, that is a divine service, helping people to connect to their history. And he was explaining that some Caucasian people have the African American, uh, the African genetics because of the slave ownership and because of bloodlines getting mixed. And I've seen some things with some people of the fairer complexions and the straighter hair get like, ooh, I have like African DNA that makes me like part of the community. And really the history is a little more sorted. um but people tend to not look that deep. They only see the results. And so I thought that was such a beautiful awareness that he brought to that um information, just into that information, into those facts. Like, yes, you might be a Caucasian person with some African genetics, but the way that they came about was probably not because you was black and you proud. Let's put it that way. They probably came through some more um, aggressive situations. You feel me? And it was just a powerful journey that he went on, just talking about cotton. And there's also like um, these black farmers in, I believe, North Carolina who sell cotton, and they have like these acres of land and like 5 generations. Um, and they really are empowered by their service, and they believe like that somebody has to do this work. And if you're doing it from a place of consent and dignity, then that's a powerful thing, and that black people shouldn't run away from the idea of growing cotton or being a farmer or doing any type of um, agricultural things just because of our history. There's a lot of money to be made there, a lot of opportunity and passion that can be there if we release ourselves of these social ideas and really step into a service that is calling us divine service. You feel me? I also think that goes into it as well. What you feel called to do, um, what you feel like this is really what I want to do, and not allowing any other human person with their own perceptions, you feel me, to dissuade you. You feel me? Like, not allowing other human beings to be like, oh, that's not appropriate. You're a black guy, you're selling cotton. Like, what do you think you're doing? You feel me? This is so disrespectful to our people. Um, but it's like, no, he has been doing this as part of his lineage for generations. He's bringing Black people into a space that they were um, initially um, abused by, and bringing them power through it. And I feel like that's so beautiful. Like, I really feel like that is divine. And if we talk about, oh, hey, Raymell. I'm just in here chatting. Um, but I really feel like that is divine. Like, understanding you want to do something and not allowing people to dissuade you. You feel me? I kind of lost my train of thought because I got excited, but I do remember I was saying that. And how powerful it is when we can truly step into that, because um, as human beings, we do seek out validation. We do seek out that approval. We want to be in community. When we are being of service, it is to other people usually. Like, some people choose to serve nature. That was my path back in the day. Some people choose to serve um, specifically like children. Some people choose to serve technology. You feel me? Some people are just not into the human service. But in the grand scheme of things, everything that humans do serves another human being. Because if you're serving the planet, that is a way of serving the human race, because we're all here. We don't go nowhere else. Even we don't come from anywhere else. We're all here on the planet. So in essence, we should all be taking care of the planet, but some people are more intentional and purposeful because that's what they feel called to do. And oftentimes those people get poo-pooed and overlooked, because it's like, why do you care more about these plants or these animals or the ocean or the air more than you care about human beings? Um, but at the end of the day, this is where we all come from. So if there aren't at least a handful of us that are intensely passionate about caring for the planet and caring for the earth, then we're probably gonna, have a lot of natural things to deal with that we don't know about because nobody's interested. So let yourself nerd out on whatever you want to nerd out on. Let yourself dive into whatever you want to dive into. Raymell, if you want to come up and say anything, feel free. Um, but like with I was speaking earlier about some of my beautiful friends that offer their divine service, like Raymell in here, um, who offer energy work, who offer holding space, who offer knowledge and information sharing. And some people could look at that and be like, "Oh, that's woo woo, that's skeptic, that's this spiritual, that's not like a tangible thing. Like, you're not making anything, you're not moving anything physical. He's definitely moving energy, you feel me? But you're not like tangibly doing something. So what kind of service is that really? Like, why are you so into that? Go bag some groceries." But when you think about it, as I mentioned earlier, um, it's the same thing about being an artist. People need that energy to be moved. People need that hope. People need that inspiration, that motivation, because we are all here living our lives. And if everybody's out here bagging groceries or doing DoorDash or even being a nurse, you feel me, or a surgeon, very physical things, how are we going to sustain ourselves if our spirits are dead, if our energy is stagnant, if our hope is gone, if we don't feel passion for what we're doing? I mean, yes, you get the results from your work. Um, you get a sense of fulfillment from your work. But at the center of it all, you have to have that desire. You have to have that drive. You have to have that passion. Thank you so much for coming up, Raymell. I appreciate you being here with me today. I don't know if you got your drawing, your doodling things, but I got me some paper and pencil, and I'm just doing some doodles and chatting podcast style. But I'm glad you're here to chat with me today. What you got to share?
Hey, Sister Angelique. I actually am not doing. I just got out of meditation, so I'm like feeling like connected and aligned. And someone told me to come on the clubhouse, and I'm like, oh, Sister Angelique is in the building, in her room. And any way I can come and show support and love, I will always do that. Divine service. I was called to come up as you were like sharing like the services that I offer and how I support others. And I wanted to just talk into how it definitely takes building confidence in yourself to know that you have a gift that the world needs. Because as you were saying, like if you're not doing something that's tangible, something like what comes to mind in this moment is when I was personal training, that was something that was more physical oriented. So the confidence of how I looked was like something I knew that, okay, I have these physical results and people need them or desire them. So it was easy for me to sell because I was my walking billboard. But then once I shifted into life coaching and I shifted into the energy work and just that realm of service, there was a lot of self-doubt that came up for me. There was a lot of questions of, can I do this? Is this worthy of pursuing? Will I attract people that I can support? Can I support people? So many thoughts came to mind. So many self-sabotage and just thoughts were circulating. And it took me, and I'm continuously growing through those, like really knowing that that is my gift. And often we have these gifts that are not what we would call normal, and it's that like as like you were speaking like an artist and things of that, like that's something that unless you're in that realm a lot of time is misunderstood until unless like it's something that's mainstream or something that people are just like gravitating to. But if you're a unique expression and expressing yourself in a unique way through your craft, it's often like you are not going to be that hot trend that people hop on. And that's where like with me and the work that I do, like I had to really stick to because I knew when I discovered the universal laws in 2019 that I had something. I was like, I meant to learn this, I meant to teach this, but I think when I first learned them, instead of me eating the meal of the universal laws, letting it digest and process, I was just on that first bite. Okay, let me share this plate. Let me share this plate with whoever want to eat. But I hadn't fully eaten the plate, so I wasn't in the place that I was truly ready to share it because I was still digesting and processing it within myself. So the confidence really wasn't there. I knew that I had understood it, but I wasn't embodying it yet. So it was the difference between me knowing it and owning it. And now that I'm in a place of embodiment and implementation, integration, now the confidence, it's just something that I don't even try to build. It's just something that's within me because I know that this is my purpose. I know this is my gift. I know this is my unique expression to how I'm meant to express and to add contribution to bringing awareness to those who have forgotten who they are, what they are, and what lives within them. So when now I show up and I create content and I do my lives and I do my webinars and just other things that I'm called to create, I do it from a place of it's not about me. I'm just a vessel and I'm working with these unseen forces that use me. So I know that for those who are not in that space of understanding that type of connection, it would sound like woo woo. It would sound like, what is he smoking? Go get him into intervention because he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But when you are tapped in and tuned in, you know that this is truly like, I'm not teaching anything that we don't already know. And I'm not bringing anything to the world that hasn't already been brought. I'm just bringing it in my unique way, making the meal that, or not even making the meal because the meal is already made, but serving the meal to others that are wanting to eat but not sure how the flavors are going to be. So really just giving them spoon by spoon, versus giving them a whole plate, because then that's where it will be overwhelming and they won't even know how to take the first bite. So that's where I've been just really intentional with how can I simplify this complicated knowledge and make it in a digestible, understandable way to where it's not going over your head, but it's going into your heart, and you're able to, something ignites within you that you're able to not only receive it, but believe it. And then you start to practice it, and then you start to embody it, and then it becomes a way of being. So yeah, it's just it's took me a while to get here, and where I'm at, it's still so much to do, but I just move from where I'm at, knowing that where I'm moving from is a beautiful, and powerful place, because I know that I'm doing the work on myself. So the work that I'm doing on me, I'm just sharing the tools that I've gathered along my journey, and just for those who are ready, because when you're not ready, the tools are just something that will collect dust. But when you're ready, now you can truly put the tools to use, and it supports you throughout this journey of life, because this journey of life isn't easy. It definitely isn't. There's a lot of resistance that you have within yourself with emerging into new versions of yourself and releasing old parts of yourself and releasing things and people that you were once attached to. Like, it's not easy because we are attached beings. Like in this human experience, we get so attached to people, places, and things, and we get attached to these identities that we have created for ourselves because that's what we know. But the hardest part I've discovered is really unlearning and releasing. Because as you unlearn, as you release, now you're open for wisdom to come through you. The wisdom that I share with others, it's not mine. I don't claim it. I always put the disclaimer that these are not my words, they're coming through me, because wisdom is something that we have access to when we open our hearts and connect to our hearts. And that's where ancient wisdom becomes available, because now you're in that full, so purposeful just place to where that wisdom just comes through you, and you're saying things that you didn't even, I know how you have just the ability to understand, let alone translate, to speak these words to others, but it's something that you have access to. And that's where the inner work for me has been my biggest tool. I just got out of meditation, like being intentional with sitting in stillness, releasing the thoughts, detaching from the body, becoming the observer. Like that is truly what the power is, because whatever you face in life, circumstance or situation, once you become the observer, you see none of this is real anyway. So, what meaning do I want to put behind this experience? And that's what that experience will be for me. And now you start to be more intentional with the choices of how you choose to see life, because life is whatever you want it to be, but whatever you hold in the mind, life will always express that to you. So I'll yield it there because, girl, you know, I can go on and on and on and on. Yielding my mic. Love you.
Yes, I love you too. Thank you for coming on and dropping that fire. Um, it's so much more beautiful to have that engagement and have a different perspective. Because I definitely just be on here chatting and podcasting. You feel me? I just want to touch on a few things that you said that were really that really stuck out to me. The serving yourself, that is divine service. That is like literal divine service, because I mentioned earlier that we are expressions of the divine, and we are all contributing a service to elevate humanity, to serve humanity, to inspire humanity and each other, as we are our unique emanations of the divine. And when we are able to start with ourselves, that is the most divine service that we can do, because we are literally intentionally serving the divine that is us, and making sure that we have an understanding of ourselves, making sure that we are taking care of ourselves, that we are loving ourselves. That is a literal actual service to God. Michelle Hardy speaks on that. I don't remember the name of the book or the show that she got it from, but she mentions how when you make a meal, make it as if you are serving God, because you are God. when you're getting dressed or whatever, make it as if you're going to see God because you are God. And I just feel like that is really beautiful and powerful what you just shared about serving yourself first. And also the embodying your service, so that you can be more confident in offering the service. Because I definitely feel that as far as like being a life coach as well, and being on my journey of understanding energy and the universal laws, and just self discovery, you feel me, like really connecting to my inner creator, um, having the capacity and the awareness to embody that, and understanding that embodiment will bring me more confidence in serving others. So if people do feel like, oh, that's not an actual thing, I have my confidence in knowing that it is. And as an artist, I've definitely had to build that personal embodiment. That's why I started calling myself Angelique the artist, because I had to sew that into myself. I had to embody that in my name so that I could see it and feel it and take hold of it, embody it, like you said, because otherwise it's just something that I'm just thinking, and it's something that people can kind of come through with their own thoughts and try to add them to my thoughts. And I've gotten better at honoring my space and like letting people's thoughts bounce off of me. But when I was first in this journey, I had to really be like, I am an artist. I am the artist. I am the artist. And really focus on embodying that so I could be confident in stepping into that space, because I knew that I was called in my divine spirit, in my divine being, to share creativity, to share joy, to share passion and art and joy with the world. And I just love that so much that you spoke on that. And I also just kind of wrap up at this last little point here. Um, how you're talking about, you made that analogy to serving a meal and making this wisdom more digestible, because it is ancient wisdom, and it comes from a time when people spent a lot more time sitting and thinking and conversing, like hours and hours, and these days there's so much coming at you, there's so much that you can be thinking about or talking about or what have you. And so we don't have the same opportunity to hold space for, we're not presented with them as often, I should say. We have the opportunity, it's there. And I am in my thread of opening my retreat center so that we can have more spaces like this. But this ancient wisdom that was brought from the highest intelligence of those ancient times, um, helps humans evolve. It helps humans move forward, and it helps them grow and continue to have that passion for life and understand themselves and where we came from. All of this wisdom came from sitting and looking at the stars and staring into fires and staring out at the ocean, like connecting with nature, sitting in trees, like this is really deep stuff. And to be able to dig it up and put it in a beautiful phrase or in a beautiful space where people can ask questions, where they can feel like you said they want to eat, but they just don't know how the flavors are going to be or what it's going to be like. Just give them the space and the plate to do that and to really serve them in that way. Like that, oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. And also, shout out to the cooks, because that is a beautiful divine service. At one point in my life, I did want to have my own restaurant, still plan on it, but that's more my like when I'm millionaire, billionaire, and we're like just popping things up because we got the money and the resources, you feel me? But that was something that I wanted to do as the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, was open a restaurant, because I loved working in the kitchen. I really felt like that was a beautiful gift I had. And I just want to give shout out to the service workers in the food industry that make the food, because we often overlook them as well, like the chefs and things. That is a divine service because some people out here don't know how to cook. And if you just throw a chicken in a pan with nothing on it, I mean, you'll see what you can get. And that's the same thing like with the knowledge, like you were saying, if you're just getting this chunk of a book, like the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or the Bible and or any of the like metaphysical books. None are coming to my mind off the top because a lot of them reference these other books. But um, if you're just getting this thrown at you, you're like, this is big and I don't know what to do with this. Got a lot going on. And we need people that are able to chop it up for us and able to break it down and flavor it in a way that is digestible for our palates. So I love that you made that analogy. That was so beautiful. But yeah, that is my time today. I like to keep these fairly short because I'm usually in here by myself. But I really appreciate you coming on, Brother Raymell. Did you have anything else you want to drop before I come close the room?
What's coming through me? I'm taking a little walk right now. And as I'm walking, I'm just looking at nature, looking at the flowers, looking at the trees. And they're speaking to me and telling me that just trust, trust yourself, believe in yourself. Everything, as you're speaking about divine service, everything is happening in divine timing. So just the seeds that we plant, know that they have everything that they need to grow. Continue to water them and allow them to be what they're meant to be. Thank you for this space. Love you.
Yes, I love that. Um, Everything comes in divine timing, and especially when you are acting in divine service. Um, Someone spoke on that recently. I can't remember exactly who. I think it was Lisa Nichols. I think she said something about it, but I'm not gonna try to quote nobody because a lot of people say it. But when you're acting in your divine service, allow life to unfold, um, allow the masterpiece to come into being. Just start putting one foot ahead of the other and trusting that your intention is to be of divine service. And so that divine timing will bring divine arrangements, will bring divine opportunities for you to be of their divine service. So with that, I want to say thank you all for listening today. If you happen to catch this replay, much love to my brother Raymell. Definitely go check him out at Raymell Bentley on Instagram and on TikTok, all the socials. He'll definitely uh, offer you some digestible nuggets so that you can elevate your energy, that you can shift your energy. Um, he's been a invaluable, like just boatloads. I can't even comprehend the ways that he has moved my life in a more uplifting direction, and I know that he can do the same for you. He helps me to comprehend these big chunky things. So I know he can definitely do the same for you if you're looking for that support. But thank you for listening. And of course, if you need support with your spiritual self development, or you know a teen who needs support with their self talk or setting boundary skills, you can reach out to me at angeliqueart@gmail.com, or you can check out angelique.com, like it's spelled here, for more information about the things I talked about at the beginning of this and learn more about me. But yeah, check out angelique.com for more info on that. But yeah, other than that, have a beautiful, wonderful, spectacular, magical day, because you deserve it, because you are worthy, because you can absolutely create it. And you have that inner creator within you. And with that, I'm going to close out the room in 5, 4, 3, 2,